Memphis Grizzlies lost yet another NBA Cup game. We're one of 3 teams that do not have an NBA Cup game win, losing to the Golden State Warriors 123-118 in a game that wasn't really that close if you watched it. From the beginning, we were behind the 8 ball. After the game, Taylor Jenkins said he ran out the starting lineup because they've had some success, and they have against Portland and Washington. We weren't playing Portland or Washington last night. Look, I'm on record saying I like the more athletic lineups than I do. But again, I just feel like when you've got a big guy like Zach Edey, you can take advantage of some of these smaller teams. We didn't do that last night. Edey finished with 23 points, but had some moments in the closing out of the game, which more on that later. We played 11 guys in the first quarter. 11 in 12 minutes. That's a rough start. I don't understand how you can get a rhythm with that. And it showed. I'm not blaming Taylor Jenkins for all of our shooting woes. Like, I literally think there was a lid on our basket all night. The Grizzlies were historically bad from 3, finishing 7 for 42, shooting 16.7%. Chris Arrington says that is the worst shooting percentage the Grizzlies have had on 35 or more threes in franchise history. 16%. That's going to get you beat every time, especially against a good shooting team like Golden State, a historically good shooting team like Golden State. I think the game got out of hand because we're new to this pace, right? This new offense, this motion offense, we're trying to run. We're new to it. Golden State's been doing that for years. Steph has been doing that for years. And we try to get into a track meet and go shot for shot, one of the best shooting teams in the league, as one of the best paint scoring teams in the league. And it's just not going to work. I mean, we outscored them in the paint 60-42 last night. So we played our game some. Again, Zach Edey played bully ball and got whatever he wanted. And Jaren Jackson Jr. continues to be the best player on whatever court he steps on. Now, last night wasn't great. Again, we went 7 for 42 from 3. He was 0 for 4. 4 of our 7 3-pointers came from our rookies, Jalen Wells and Zach Edey. Yeah, 3D was in full effect last night. I mean, Edey played great. I mean, honestly, in his 23 minutes, he had a plus or minus of 14, 5 or 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line. He finished with 14 points and 9 rebounds. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for. I mean, guy played well against smaller teams. I don't know. At some point, we're going to have to see some more Zach Edey. You know, I feel a little bit lied to. On draft night, Kleiman said, yeah, Edey's big, but teams are going to have to account for us. They're going to have to plan for us and plan for Zach Edey. I think the only people that have to plan for Zach Edey are the people sitting behind him on the bench to try and see the game, because he's not getting enough run. He's figuring out how to be a professional basketball player and use his size, and it's fun to watch, but he can't get in a rhythm only playing 20, 23 minutes a night. I mean, he didn't even play a half of basketball in a very favorable matchup against a smaller Golden State team. I would have much rather, we've been one of the better half-court teams this year. I would have loved to see us slow the game down, put it in a half-court game, and try and beat Golden State. Look, you're not going to beat Golden State at their own game. If you try and run with Golden State, you're going to lose every time. And that's what happened last night. We tried to run with them. We couldn't shoot. We're still running out some goofy lineups, and we got beat. Yes, I'm going to criticize Taylor Jenkins because there were things that, again, it's a historically bad shooting night. Yes, that's like A. That's the main problem. B problem is these lineups continue to be just goofy. We didn't see a lineup of Jaren, Edey, Dez, Vince, and Jalen Wells until less than 5 minutes to go in the game. And you know what happened during that time? Yes, it's garbage time, and Golden State might have checked out a little bit. They got 3 checks to close out the game, and you could tell they were just kind of over it. But we went on a 22-6 run, cutting a 24-point lead down to 5 with that lineup. I mean, I think if you would ask most Grizzly fans, like, what lineup, given the players that played last night, what lineup would you want to get the bulk of the minutes? And it would be pretty close to those 5. But we didn't see that until 5 minutes to go in the game. At that point, it's over. Made a hell of a run and try and, make up the difference. And only to lose by 5 on a historically bad shooting night is great. So props to the team, props to Taylor Jenkins for finally putting that lineup out there, figuring some stuff out. But it's just like, I don't know. We just never had any momentum, never had any juice. I saw the pregame speech. I'm sure y'all seen the audio of that, and it felt very Ted Lasso-y, and we just kind of came out flat without a lot of energy, and it wasn't our night. And you can't have nights like that against Golden State. I mean, long and short of it, that is what it is. It was good to see Dez and Vince back. Dez looked a little rusty at points last night, no pun intended. You could see downhill Dez some, but he just wasn't himself last night. He's been off for a couple of weeks, so you expect that. But my guy, Vince Williams Jr., number 5, came back last night and was his pesky self. His offense wasn't there. He finished 4 for 9 from the field, 9 points. Not a pedestrian offensive night, but he had 2 big blocks, multiple tip-aways, and a lot of passing lanes. And when he was on Steph Curry, Steph was frustrated. They kept screening, trying to get Steph as far away from Vince as they could because they knew Vince is that guy. And he was last night. It was so good to see him back out there. Like, I love watching that dude hoop and how he hustles. It's very Tony Allen-esque and just like, he's got the crew socks and the white tee under the jersey. It looks like an LA Fitness hooper, but he's out there just killing your favorite player. It was good to see Vince back last night and being athletic and being pesky on defense like we know he can. That's only going to bode better for us as we go forward. Everybody's been clamoring about Dez and all these guys coming back, and rightfully so, but I've been on record saying that Vince is going to be the one that we need moving forward because our three-point defense has not been great. Like, you take away the Portland game, and we're not a great perimeter defending team. We shot like Portland last night, and that's why we got beat. But we haven't defended the three-point line very well. And we did better last night. Golden State finished at 41%, 19 for 46. That's a good shooting night. But Vince was a big reason for a lot of those misses. We're going to chalk this up to a bad loss. We got beat by a better team last night. Golden State was more athletic. They ran pace better than we did, and they made their shots and we didn't. That's basketball sometimes. Sometimes you have a lid over your basket, and there's nothing you can do on a historically bad shooting night to try and overcome that. Santi Aldama's regression back to the mean has been aggressive. He has not looked great. Like I said in my Bucks 2 cents this past week, like he's not looked like a real NBA player anymore. We started off super hot and we've just slowly fell back down. And last night, again, he was not great, finishing 0 for 3 from 3, 2 for 8 from the field. A big part of our bad shooting night last night. J Huff played minimal minutes and didn't play well in those minutes. BC's toe is clearly not 100%. He did not look good in his 13 minutes last night. We're just going to chalk it up to a bad loss. Again, we don't have a single NBA Cup win. We got another chance at that Tuesday night against the Nuggets. Before that, we play the Nuggets at home. I'll be in the stadium for that. I'll be there for the game. It's the Sounds game. So get tickets, come out, support the team, buy the gear. I'm going to spend an unhealthy amount in the Grizzlies den on this Sounds gear because it does look super good. But we'll look to bounce back against another great team. We played Golden State last night and lost in our opening game of the NBA Cup, and it doesn't get any easier from there. We have one of the toughest, if not probably the toughest group in the NBA Cup this season. We get a chance for a tune-up against Denver on Sunday at 5 o'clock before our next Cup games on Tuesday against Denver. Hopefully we'll get some tonight and into tomorrow and look a little bit more fresh against Denver. We'll definitely look fresh in our Memphis Sounds attire, and hopefully we can get a win to go with it. Go Grizz.